Hello, all my blessed baddies. Welcome back to Be a Better Baddie. If you are new here, my name is Quenisha and I am your host, coach, teacher, and fellow baddie. Every week I publish a new episode that is intended to help you become a better baddie. And if you aren't familiar with baddie means, baddie stands for balanced, authentic, driven, deserving, iconic, and evolving. So if you are interested in honing in on one of those areas of your life or becoming more of something or just being an overall baddie because you like the term, then this is the place for you. So, in this week's episode, we are discussing how to protect and cultivate the energy that you need to succeed. But before we get into that, quick updates. So, one, we have reached over 100 subscribers. At the time I'm recording this, I'm at 105 subscribers. So I'm pretty excited about that. Like, I low key in my head had a goal to hit 100 by the end of 2024. I didn't. I think I was at like 90 or 93. I don't know, somewhere around there. And the new year came and I got sick. I had the stomach flu. So I am here. I'm recording our video. We're back. I'm excited to be back. And we are talking about energy today. In particular, I'm going to talk about 4 energy draining habits, routines, practices, relationship type things that we all engage in the solution to those things. Because we are all pursuing New Year's goals or just goals in general. We want to live a happy life. And there is a direct correlation between the energy that you feel and the productivity that you put into things and the emotions that creates. So there's this little chain flow of things going on. And as always, everything that I talk about in this video can relate to any aspect of life. So it can relate to work, it can relate to your personal relationships, it can relate to your family, it can relate to your best friends, it can relate anywhere. So keep an open ear as you are listening or watching this podcast, and let's jump into it. First and foremost, energy is your currency. So regardless of what nation you live in, we all have the same currency of energy. Spend your currency of energy wisely. You want to spend it on positive things. You want to spend it on productive things. You don't necessarily want it to be drained from you. You want to be able to be in control of the energy that you are allocating to the world, because if you are constantly engaging in activities where your energy is being drained and it's unchecked, it's going to lead to you having burnout, you feeling frustrated. It's going to lead to a lack of growth on your part. So we are starting the year off strong, and we are going to have more clarity about where we are allocating our energy and how to be better about allocating our energy towards things that make us happy. The first energy draining habit that we are no longer engaging in is not taking breaks. So I'm talking about my good sisters that like to over caffeinate to stay more alert or compensate for lack of sleep. I'm talking about my good sisters that overwork to compensate for poor time management. I'm talking about my sisters who do not sleep and they're pulling all-nighters. I'm also talking to my sisters that wait until the last minute to do everything. And I'm definitely not leaving out my sisters that push through physical discomfort to do high intensity workouts or things of that sort. Take a break. Take a break. It is not the age of, what year was that? I was in college. So it was around like 2012. I think like vamp life was really popular, like grind, like stay up, like just overwork yourself. Girl boss was like the parallel of that. That's no longer, that's not the vibe, okay? Not taking breaks is burning out your energy. It's going to lead to you burning out. It's going to lead to you having higher stress, and it's going to lead to a decrease in your overall output quality, whatever that thing is that you're trying to do. And most importantly, it's not very baddie like. It's not baddie like for you to just sit there and not take a break and overwork yourself. So not only do you need to take breaks when you're doing long stretches of work, working a 9 to 5 job. I take breaks throughout the day. I do not work 9 to 5. If I did, I don't know what I'd be doing. So I take breaks. So not only do you need to take breaks from long stretches of work time, but you also need to kind of take breaks in life, like schedule in breaks. One thing that I know I definitely want to do this year is start taking off one day of work a month to just chill. If I want to go get a massage that day, cool. If I want to go to a mall that's an hour away, cool. Like I just want to take a day during the week to just be me, take a break from the hustle and bustle of life. Just schedule the breaks, because if I don't schedule the breaks will take themselves, and the breaks aren't productive when they are forced to be taken because you didn't take a break. So, my solution to you engaging in this energy draining habit of not taking a break is to re-energize yourself by embracing cyclical living. Life is a marathon. It is definitely not a sprint. While I have not run a marathon before, I have run a 5K. That's my version of a marathon right now. And I can see the parallels in there, right? So when I ran my 5K, which is on, it's not only, it's 3 miles. Let's not minimize ourselves. So it's 3 miles. And I went in with a plan. I had been listening to the Nike Run Coach app as I was running. So my plan going into the 5K was to start slow, kind of let my brain register what I was doing, and then transition to like a steady and strong pace. Like, okay, we're moving. And then kind of cycle in between that strong pace and that reserve pace to build up my energy. So somewhat of like intervals. And then I finished with all I had. And by the end, I didn't have much. But it kind of worked that way. And the plan was to make sure I didn't go out there full out, balls to wall, drain all my energy, and not be able to finish the race and enjoy the moment at the end. I want you to start thinking about life that way as well. Life should not be balls to wall 24/7, mamas. It should not. Okay. And you also shouldn't be moving like a little turtle the entire time. You need a balance. That is why I want you to start thinking of life as a cycle. I like to create frameworks for things. But the four cycles in life that I came up with in the past, I'm still working through them, but I think that they are: one, grind mode. This is when you're extremely productive, extremely busy. Ideally, these phases would happen in months. So you have your grind mode, you're extremely productive, you're busy, you're just yada, yada, yada. Here, there, pillar, post, bed, club, beach. You're moving, you're grinding. The next cycle in life is enjoying the fruits of your labor. So this is a more relaxing phase. It could be a turn up. It could be you spending your money. It could be you spending your time, whatever it is, but it is no longer you putting energy into a particular goal or a particular end point. Like, it is literally you living in leisure. You're glowing, you're winning. Like, that's kind of what that season is. The next season, I think, is the reflective season. You're thinking about your next move, or you're thinking about the past, right? It's very still. Reflective season is just very pensive, very demure, for lack of a better word. And then the fourth season is supporting others. So there are going to be seasons in your life where you feel like everyone else around you is winning and you are not. It could be because you're not trying. It could be that you are trying, but nothing's happening for you, but other people around you are. This is the time for you to support others, clap for others, instead of just moping around. These are the four cycles of life that you can experience. And I think just really embracing those cycles is going to make for a healthy lifestyle. Because sometimes we want to be stuck in grind mode so bad, so hard for so long, but that's just not feasible at all. August to March is grind mode for me. I'm like always fully focused on whatever the task is at hand. March to July is enjoying the fruits of my labor. Baby, I'm outside. I'm having a ball. It's my birthday. It's summertime. I just want to be out. I think I could be better about incorporating more reflection into it. I think I reflect as I go. Like, I definitely build in reflection like every month. So maybe that's the way I do it. And then supporting others. Like, I think that this just happens to you. You can't always plan for when you're going to stop and clap for other people around you. Like, Sometimes God just has a way of sitting you down and saying, look, pay attention, focus. So that's number one. Embracing cyclical living is how you will beat the energy drainer of not taking a break. The second energy draining practice that we will no longer engage in is spending time with energy vampires. Now, energy vampires, I have a list. These are complainers. These are overly negative people. These are pessimists. These are overly critical people. These are overly judgmental people. These are people who always take and never give anything back. These are people who will always talk but never listen. These are codependent people. These are people who never take responsibility. These are people who never hold themselves accountable. These are martyrs. Do you like the list? Those are the energy vampire sucking people. So that is the problem in itself. Spending too much time around those kind of people. And the solution is manage your own emotions. A lot of time, these type of people is just spending less time with them that will give you more energy in your life. Now, I understand that that is not always realistic because some of these energy vampires are family. They may even be friends. They may be coworkers that you have to spend time with to complete a project. So not spending time with these people isn't always realistic. But if these are people that you must spend time around, there are a few strategies that you can employ to make the time a bit more enjoyable. So managing your reaction to the conversations that you have with them, because that's the medium, right? That's how they will suck your energy, via conversations. If they are constantly complaining about something, change the subject, because there's only so much one person can take. Another thing you can do is simply not engage in that topic. Sometimes you just didn't hear them, right? Proposing an alternative. So if they are complaining about something, or they are talking about how something's never their fault and it's everyone else's fault, propose an alternative and say, well, what do you think you could have done differently in that situation then to make sure that this didn't happen? Because they're not going to see it as their fault. They will not see it as their fault. But maybe just offering a different perspective, maybe a different guiding question to help them think differently. You can also just ignore them completely, depending on the person. Like, this obviously does not work with everyone, but you could use the strategy with some people. Choose your battles. Every battle isn't worth being fought. It's just not. At the end of the day, I'd rather have my peace rather than to win a fight with someone, especially an energy vampire. Sometimes it is a simple, oh, okay. And you leave it at that. I want to read more about Mel Robbins' Let Them theory. I listened to the podcast. I want to read the book now. And really let them. Just really let them. And I think just repeating that phrase whenever I am in these situations with energy vampires, I just think like, okay, you think that, and I'm going to let you. And just kind of keep moving. Oh is one of my favorite words. Oh. You just throw an O in there and it'll be fine. Something else you can do is engage with this person in a non-emotional manner. If an energy vampire is coming at you, trying to drain your energy, you need to put up a shield. You need to quickly put up a shield and engage with them in a non-emotional way. Because if you engage in an emotional manner, then you give them more fuel. Reserve your fuel for yourself. And then the final thing that I'll say when it comes to dealing with energy vampires is knowing your triggers, so that if they do attempt to trigger you in any kind of way, you're already aware of these things. I said in my last episode, a couple episodes ago, about being authentic, and that breeds confidence. People can't tell you anything about yourself if you already know these things about yourself. So for instance, I know that I am triggered if people comment, oh, you ate so much today. Like things like that, it just triggers me, because I'm like, okay, why are you watching like how much I eat, and like what does that mean to you, and like what are you trying to say? Like I know my brain can go in a couple of different places from there. If that comes up and I am triggered, I just say, okay. And granted, this may not be the healthiest way. I think y'all know this already. I'm not a therapist. So If you don't agree with this way of handling situations or dealing with energy vampires, by all means, talk to a licensed therapist about it. I'm just giving you my 2 cents about how I regain my energy in these situations. Regardless, one of your biggest takeaways for dealing with energy vampires of any sort, understand that if they don't want to change, they will not change. If they have no intentions, if they don't see any issues with the way that they behave, then that is the way that it will be. At that point, it's up to you to decide how you want to interact with that person. I can go on and on about that, but I will stop there. The third energy draining habit that we are no longer engaging in is worrying and complaining. And I put these two together just because they come from similar places of not feeling empowered in a particular situation or not feeling confident in the outcome. When you worry about something, you are constantly ruminating on this particular thing because you feel uneasy or you feel concerned about the outcome. And worry is normal, right? It will be wild for me to come here and say, don't you ever worry about a single thing in your life, because I am not God and I cannot take those worries away from you. So normal worry is like waiting on some blood work results to come back, or getting an expensive bill and knowing it'll be hard to pay. Those things are normal to worry about, but worrying gets out of control once your focus starts to shift to things that are truly out of your control. So once you start worrying about how someone feels about you, or you're worried about a hypothetical future situation, or you are hyper worried about the past, or if you're worried about things like weather and traffic, things that you cannot control and you literally cannot change. So worrying never solves the problem. If something is out of your hands, then it is out of your hands. And this is something that's easier said than done. Like, this takes practice, and it takes a lot of letting go for you to just say, this is out of my hands and I am not going to worry about it. If there is something that you can do about it, then take action. Then there'd be no reason for you to worry. Worrying in this case, when it's a thing that you can easily take action on, it is a waste of time. Overall, it's energy draining. It's not productive. Now I want to talk a little bit about complaining. And I am not talking about your normal run of the mill complaining. Like if we're in a really long line that's not moving and I'm bothered, or if the internet's moving slowly, or my flight gets delayed, or just regular inconveniences. Let's complain about those. That is a-okay. Those are normal. We need to let that out. We do need to vent. But excessive complaining is where I draw the line. You're constantly complaining about a particular thing, or you're just constantly complaining in general, or just really complaining about circumstances that can change. So, for instance, constantly complaining about a work project that you know you have to complete, or complaining about some sort of financial strain that you can change. That is where complaining is unproductive, because who are you complaining to? You need to fix the problem yourself. You need to fix the problem yourself. In 2025, you are no longer wasting energy on not fixing the problem. If there's a problem that you're worried about or you're constantly complaining about it, fix it with all that you can do. Attempt to fix it. So when you complain, you are just spewing out negativity. The people around you are being affected by it. Like, really, nobody wants to be around the person that just constantly complains about everything. I always want to be not a part of the problem. And of course, there's situations when I am a part of the problem, not intentionally, but I'd rather be a part of the solution than a part of the problem. So how do you solve the complaining and the worrying? How do you stop putting energy into that or having energy drained out of you? Act. Act now. You can either set a goal and then act, or you can act and then go and revise the goal. You need to take action. That's the bottom line. There's clearly some issue and you're worried about the outcome, or there's some circumstance that you're complaining about. And if you can fix it, you need to take yourself out of that energy draining situation, set a goal to fix the issue, and then you don't have anything to worry about. But I think before I keep going until how to set the goals, some people really do like sitting in that position where they are the complainer or they are the worrier. That's some people's comfort zone because people don't like to take action. A lot of people don't like to take action. They don't like to do the scary thing because taking action means you take the risk of failing. Taking the risk of failing, oh my God, people may be looking at you, but you never know what you can do unless you try it. Let's get into how to energize ourselves. And I haven't talked about my goal setting philosophy in a minute. And I think it's definitely time for an updated episode on that. So that will be coming soon, but at a high level. Your goals should be, it used to be PAC, PAC, but I think I'm going to switch it around. I don't know what I'm going to do. Tell me in the comments which one you like, PPAC or CAPP. PPAC is what I'm going to go with right now. But process-based, positive, aligned, and centered around yourself. So your goal should be process-based. Instead of focusing on the end goal, you want to focus on the process that you're going to go through to achieve your goal. You want to think about the habits that you're developing, the practices that you engage in, the actions or the mindsets of the type of person that achieves the goal that you're going after. Because ultimately, by you chasing a goal, you are creating an updated version of yourself. So you want to focus on the process of the goal, really. You want to set the goal, but really the process, the meaty part is where it's at. Secondly, you want your goal to be positively framed. So you want to frame the goal as something that you are going to do to enhance your life, and that'll help point you in the right direction rather than something you are detracting from your life. We want to focus on where we're going, not where we've been. Third, you want to make sure that your goal is aligned. Make sure you set this goal for a reason. Why are you doing this? Does it align with your values, your life? What's the larger picture? How does your goal connect to that? So make sure that your goal is fitting into this grand scheme of life that you see for future you. Finally, center yourself. The only thing you can control is yourself. Don't set goals that center other people's actions or other people's behaviors because that is going to set you up for failure. Centering yourself is going to give you more agency and responsibility for your goals. So instead of worrying or complaining about how much you hate your job or how much weight you want to lose or how you hate your friends, get out there and take some action. Get in the studio. I've been saying get in the studio for like everything. So go get in the studio. Go rap. Go rap. Sorry, guys. I'm starting to feel a little stuffy. So training practice that we are no longer participating in 2025 is chasing emotional highs. Emotional highs are temporary and they require constant pursuit, which will ultimately exhaust you. So when I say chasing emotional highs, I mean you're always seeking the most exciting event, the most Instagrammable restaurant, the best meal you ever ate, your biggest accomplishment ever, your biggest and bestest trip ever. Sometimes all that effort that you put in to create this excitement and give off this image that you are living a life of constant highs, it can be exhausting. It leaves you little room to rest and reflect. Remember, we talked about the cycles of life. When you are constantly living for highs, the lows feel even lower and you are just living in this state of dissatisfaction. By constantly chasing these emotional highs, your brain can get addicted to this dopamine hit and it's always chasing this sense of novelty. But this isn't sustainable. We are supposed to have hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. At some point, you got to get out of the studio, okay? You need to go write a song. You need to go listen to the song you wrote. You can't keep rapping, coming out with hits after hits after hits. I hope that y'all following my analogy. Over time, the highs are going to lose their impact and you are going to feel drained and unfulfilled. These unrealistic expectations of like having this glamorous, exciting life all the time and like constantly hitting milestones and always going on the best trip and always having the best clothes. That definitely comes from social media because we only see people's highs on social media. Sure, there's like this push to make social media a bit more normal, like showing normal people's lives and talking about the normal mundane things of life, but that is not what is popular. It's not the most popular thing. People still want to see aspirational things. They still want to see glamorous things. But you're not doing that in 2025. You are not going to drain your energy trying to chase these emotional highs constantly. The solution is finding the joy in the mundane. Your life is made up of those small, consistent moments, not the big, flashy moments. How many times do you graduate with the degree? Maybe 3, 4 times in your life. And honestly, that me saying 3 or 4 is speaking from a place of privilege. Most people probably only graduate with 1 or 2 degrees. I'm counting high school as a degree. So you're not going to always have the big flashy graduation picture to post. You're not always going to have the big flashy vacation you go on. But you'll always have those mundane moments. You'll always have that cup of coffee in the morning. You'll always have that workout routine. You'll always have those walks with the people you love. Those little moments are what makes up life. So why not try to create a life that you love, that you live every day? We want to live, laugh, love every day, not just the days where we are going on our extravagant vacations. What are you doing to make sure that you love the life that you live every day? And this takes a bit of reframing. One of the biggest reframes that I've been recently thinking about is when I clean my house. Yes, you can think of cleaning as a chore, something you have to do to get done. But I've been thinking about it as showing gratitude for my house. My house has been through a couple of natural disasters, and she's still standing. She's still a good girl. And I think cleaning my space and keeping it clean and organized is a way of showing gratitude for that space and the things that it's done for me, how safe it keeps me. So this simple reframe really makes me look at my house in a different way sometimes, because sure, I do want a new house, because who doesn't want to upgrade their living space? But I'm still grateful for the house that I do have and the things that I've been through in this house so far. So this year, instead of you chasing the highs, find a way to build a life that you love living every day. This can be from you cultivating gratitude practices. It could be you building a routine that you love. It could also be you celebrating small wins in your everyday life. Every win doesn't have to be a huge one. A small win could be you had 3 things on your checklist for the day. You checked all 3 off. Wow. Let me tell you how many people don't get 3 things done off their checklist. A lot. So celebrate those small things that you do, because those little things that you do every day, those are the things that make up your life. When you look back, you'll think about those moments. Now, it is dark o'clock outside, and it is time for me to wrap up things. Let me know what you think in the comments. Which energy draining habit, practice, relationship are you getting rid of in 2025, and what are you replacing it with? Personally, as I was writing this episode, the things I definitely want to focus on, are the things that I think are draining energy out of me, are not taking breaks. So I definitely want to embrace more of that cyclical living, embrace more rest and reflection time, building in breaks so that I'm not forced to take breaks. And I also want to manage my time and energy around energy vampires, because I'm not in a space where I necessarily want to argue with people or try to change people, because it's just not for me. It's just not for me. So let me know what you are thinking in the comments, and be sure to subscribe so you can see more content from your girl. We're going to hit our next milestone soon. I'm feeling optimistic. I'm feeling positive. Hopefully you are too. And I will see you all in the next one. Until then, you have a positively productive, self-loving day. Bye.